Good morning, guys. I'm Che with Progressive Abuelo Dallas. One of the coolest things about the pod experience is just the different people we get to meet. And believe me, we get to meet some really exciting people. Today, we're going to be talking to one of those people, our good pod fam, Charles. And we're just going to be talking to him, learning more about his experience in the powerlifting world. I think it's going to be pretty dope. Check it out. Mr. Poko. Welcome back, man. There we go, man. You know, every time I try to do that with some people, it never goes right. It
happens sometimes.
I don't know why, bro.
Everybody has a different flair to it.
Why? This snap is a thing. Why do people not seem to get that, man?
Some people do it, some people don't. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Nah, bro, the snap is a
But
thing.
I just knew you were going to do it.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to go into depth about it, but there are multiple theories out there. But anyway, man, you know what I mean? I wanted to do this. This interview. I wanted to do this whole video because I think that just as part of the pod experience, right? As being one of the people that are kind of behind creating this and stuff like that. For me, one of the coolest things about it is just like the wide range of people we get to meet. And I think that we get to meet a whole lot of really cool people, man. Now, back in the day, like way back in the day, when I just started getting into powerlifting. Did you know, by the way, I got into powerlifting just because I saw Bart Kwan deadlifting? Like, he's the first person I saw deadlifting, okay?
No.
And then after that, I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to the gym. I want to do what he's doing.
Yeah.
And yeah, anyway, fast forward, we're here, right? But that's when I started. I think the first time I saw you, it was actually up in Destination. Mm-hmm. And did you do a meet up there?
I didn't do a meet at Destination, but I think the first time I saw you was at a Longhorn powerlifting meet. But you weren't competing.
Was it a Longhorn?
You just came in with a big, pod team.
Oh.
And I think that was Derek's first meet or something.
Oh, really? Is that?
I think that was the first time I saw you. It was definitely an
No
awesome.
kidding. Dude, I think like the first time I saw you was like, this is okay because I used to confuse you with Jeremy. Jeremy.
Okay.
That's how you know
Alexander?
That's how you know there are a few black guys around here because we seem to know each other. I remember seeing you at Destination, and I was like, holy shit, man, that guy is strong as shit. Then like a couple months after I saw Jeremy, and I was like, is that the same guy? But I could not put a face on it. But then when I came to the Longhorn, I was like, oh wait, yeah, that is Charles, right?
Yeah.
But so how long have you been powerlifting, or how long have you been powerlifting?
So what, it'd be in 2019. I started powerlifting back in 2014.
2014.
So that was my freshman year of college.
Right.
And I would always work out at the recreational sports center, and I guess some of the guys on the team would like run into me at the gym and like, hey man, like you're pretty strong, you should come try out.
Oh, were these guys from the powerlifting team?
The powerlifting team, yeah.
Oh, nice.
So some people, one in particular that I'm sure most people already know is going to be Michael Davis.
Yeah.
He was on the team at the time, man. We would always like walk past each other at the gym. Like he was a big, strong guy, and like I was fairly strong myself.
Of course.
So we always kind of walk past each other, kind of like bump heads, like yo, what's up? And then eventually,
that's called the bro head nut, right?
Exactly.
It's the bro head nut. Exactly. Like, alright, bro, I see you.
So we like started up a conversation. He was like, yo, come try out for the team, man. Like, you get to do X, Y, Z. And I gave it some thought, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I'll go ahead and try out.
So you go there, you try out for the team for the very first time. How did that feel like for you? Was it like, what about that made you go, you know what, I'm gonna keep pushing with this? Like,
so he actually got me with, because back in high school I played football, ran track, so I had that competitive. I was always competitive. Of course. So once that was over and I was in college, I had nothing like keeping me going per se that I could, kind of work towards. And powerlifting was like another opportunity for me to keep that competitive edge going and give me new goals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that kind of sold me as far as I could be doing this while I'm in college, so I can get to keep on competing, and keep pushing my limits.
Just keep pushing yourself, and I think it seems like there is something about just being in that environment where you're continuously pushing and improving yourself, especially for people who are always have that athletic background, where it's like they always want to transition into something else. And I think that is a beautiful thing. So you get into the powerlifting team there, you're training with everyone. Who was programming for you? Were you on a program? Who was your coach? How did that go for you?
So when I joined the team was basically run by Ian Bell and Preston Turner.
Right.
So they're the big OGs back then. They still kind of are. Not so much Preston anymore because now he's doing Olympic weightlifting.
Of course.
But so they both were kind of handling the programming for the entire team.
Yeah.
So I would just kind of run whatever the program.
You just kind of did what they did.
Exactly.
And of course, for you, did you feel like you were, because some people work a very long time and they're still not gaining their strength. How was your progression for you? Because for me, I know that everything for me sucked except for my deadlifts. Right? When I started deadlifting, for some reason, it was like I was just jumping up by 50 pounds almost every couple months. How was that for you?
I think it was kind of, so I felt like I was already pretty damn strong when I started. So it wasn't, all my numbers already at a pretty elite level when I started.
Yeah.
The hardest part for me was the technicality.
Getting your technique down.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
I think one of the things I struggled with the most was definitely squat and deadlift because with the squat, football depth and powerlifting depth is not the same.
That is true.
So
I've seen football depth, man.
Yeah, during the tryouts, I thought I was squatting like ass to grass.
Yeah.
But they would tell me I was still high. I was like. So what the hell?
What a squad gang over here, man. Yeah, so you get into the powerlifting team, they work on your technique and everything like that. And that makes sense because obviously they seem that you're kind of strong already. That's why they were inviting you to the team.
Exactly.
First powerlifting meet for you. Which one was it and how was it?
So I think my first powerlifting meet was the Aggie Showdown. So that was 2014 in February. So it was a pretty fast turnaround.
Yeah.
Because at the time when I started powerlifting, there was only equipped on the collegiate level. And,
did you compete equipped as well?
Yeah, all throughout college was all equipped.
Oh, okay.
So my background with lifting was just completely raw.
Yeah.
I had a short amount of time because I joined the team in January, and then Aggie Showdown was a month later, and this is equipped only. I had no experience.
That is crazy, dude.
So my first meet was, I basically had to do it raw to qualify because my raw numbers were going to be strong enough,
of course,
to qualify me for the collegiate level.
Right.
So I just kind of put up a raw meet in the equipped division.
Yeah.
And I'm qualified. So it was a fun meet. It was like my first taste of powerlifting.
Of course.
And actually, when I think about it, I either won that meet or I got second. I can't remember.
Right.
But I was pretty satisfied.
So from there, you're pretty much hooked then, right?
I was hooked. I was like, this is
so
fun.
kind of take me through, like, you have this first meet which is equipped, but at this point in time, you're pretty much running with the best, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just came from winning the Arnold, right? And you won Worlds as well, right? So you're also world champion. How has that journey been for you?
Go ahead.
So just kind of like say if you, from your first meet, right? Where did you go from there?
Okay.
At what point did you realize that, you know what, I'm going to go for the very top level of powerlifting, essentially?
I mean, right off the bat, because like I said, I've always been competitive.
Right.
So whenever I started powerlifting, I just kind of saw it as something else I could dominate.
Yeah.
And like going into it, I knew my numbers were good enough to compete with the best.
Right.
So I always felt like I was gonna, if I did it, I was gonna be the best in my weight class.
You're gonna do the best. How did that feel for you? Because you won. When was it you won Worlds?
I won Worlds. Well, my first Junior Worlds, I won it in 2015. Let's see, 2016.
Was it 2016?
If I'm not mistaken.
I know it wasn't like too far back, but yeah.
So I've done multiple Worlds.
You've done multiple.
So started off with Junior Worlds, because if I have my timeline correct, 2016 was my very first Junior Worlds.
Right. Where was that one?
And that was in Czech Republic.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was a big deal for me, because I won collegiate nationals to get up to that point, to secure my top spot in the U.S.
Right.
And then at Open Nationals, nobody was able to put up a total that was higher than my total from collegiate nationals.
Yeah.
So I secured my spot on the team.
Yes.
And I was able to go to Czech Republic, which is like since I moved to the U.S. I haven't gone outside of the US.
How was Czech Republic, man?
It was a beautiful place, right?
No kidding.
It's like, there's like cathedrals, like royal palaces, like it's just a completely different feel.
What kind of drugs are famous out there?
What kind of what?
What kind of drugs are famous out there?
What type of drugs are famous out there? I don't know, man.
Do you think they have like marijuana out there?
No, I don't think they did.
You know?
Okay. So I think in Europe they're just big drinkers, right? Like
yeah.
Beer.
I just feel like whenever I go to compete out of the country, I want to go to a place like Russia, where it's legal to inject yourself right on the platform. Can I be saying that? I feel like.
No comment.
Yeah, I shouldn't be saying this. Anyway, right? So you won worlds, right? But I want to talk about like the most recent one, because I think it seems like over time your performance just keeps getting more insane and insane, which is, I think that is amazing. Who is programming for you now?
So I do my own programming.
You do your own program, okay.
So while I was in college, I ran the program that Ian Bell would make.
Yeah.
And because, like I said, I wasn't familiar with equipment, so I had to, kind of learn before I started doing things on my own.
Yeah.
And then once I made that transition to raw, after I was done with collegiate powerlifting,
right.
I have been, I've been doing my own raw training for years, because I've been working out since I was 11.
For sure, yeah.
So, I was comfortable with my ability to program for myself in my raw training, so I've been doing it on my own. It's one of those things, I know my body better than somebody else, you know what I'm saying? So, I get advice from close friends and, reputable coaches every now and then.
Yeah.
But, I just kind of apply those and whatever I research.
I think that is an interesting concept. And I think it's one thing you said that was very important was just knowing your body better than everyone else, and kind of understanding what it is that you can take on in training. Right? I think people I get the whole idea of people getting a coach and things like that.
For sure, it's very useful.
Yeah, but do you does it seem to you, or does it ever feel like sometimes people trust their coaches more than they trust themselves, or do you think that, because I feel like there has to be a balance, right?
Yes.
Where would you say is a good point for a healthy relationship between what you want to achieve, right? Your personal goals, how far you can push yourself, and trusting your coach to just write a bunch of numbers on paper for you, and of course fixing your technique to get you to where you want to be.
I think it definitely depends on the experience of the lifter.
Right.
Because like I said, I have been doing it for a long time. But when I started, I had to rely on the coach, on my coaches, to kind of advise me on what the best steps are to take, because I wasn't familiar with equipped.
Right.
I am not gonna be able to program for myself without even understand what I'm doing. But as you learn, as you gain more and more experience, you start to figure out things about yourself
and things like that.
How much volume your body can tolerate,
Yeah.
And I just kind of made sure I was a more mindful lifter. So, whenever I go into the gym, I'll pay attention to how my body's feeling whenever I'm doing a certain amount of weight, certain volume, things like that. And an important part of that is also being able to track what you're doing. Because if you're going to the weight room and you're not tracking anything, it's very hard to reflect back,
and kind of figure out,
a few years later, months back, it's like, man, what was I doing? How did I feel at that time?
I think that is very important, especially for people whose progress are kind of gradual over time, and that does not apply to. Because if you look at someone like myself, right, and I think that if Jeremy actually watches this video, I know that he's one of those people who are rogue, right? They're out there and they're just lifting whatever, they're maxing out whatever. I was pretty much the same kind of way, and I think that for me at least, what allows me to keep doing that is the fact that I'm continuously seeing progress.
Yeah.
Without training as hard as others.
Yeah.
But that's a story for another day. Because, and it's weird. And, that kind of goes now into stuff like genetics and things like that. Not everyone is able to do that. But what I'm hearing you saying is as a beginner, right, you definitely want to kind of get guidance.
Exactly.
Right? Exactly. And then over time as you go, you definitely get to this point where you start to learn, right, educating yourself as well on what it is you're doing. And then from there you can kind of carry on.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the Arnold. How was the Arnold for you?
Arnold was probably one of the most fun meets I've done.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't really any stakes. There was nothing on the line.
Right.
Because most of the meets I do are on the national level when I'm trying to qualify for the Worlds team, or international meet. I'm trying to win a world championship.
Right.
So those are high pressure meets.
Of course.
But with the Arnold, I was able to go into it, and normally for those competitions, I would have to be cutting like an excessive amount of weight to make weight. But for the Arnold, I had a lot more flexibility as far as what I could weigh in on meet day, and
I have to say, it was a lot of fun just watching your performance that I made, man. Now I know you have to go. I just have two more questions. No, three. What is next?
What's next? So right now I have Classic Worlds coming up in June. So I currently have the World Championship, the World title, and I hold the world record total for my weight class. So the plan moving forward is to finish off this last meet, I think, as a 66 kilo lifter.
Right.
Because I've been thinking about moving up to 74 kilo weight class for a
74.
So potentially it's gonna be my last meet as a 66.
I know some people will not be happy about that.
So I know some people will have my competitors gonna be great. So I kind of want to wrap it up real nice by pushing that world record total a little higher and trying to walk away with all the goals I wanted to accomplish in the 66 kilo.
Right. Okay. Cool. So next question then, if you could change one thing in powerlifting as it is right now, what would you like to see different in powerlifting?
If I could change one thing, which has been getting better over the recent years, is for the lifters on the national team, they kind of have more assistance to cover some of the feeds that represent the country.
I agree with that one. That's a big thing right now.
I've been competing on the national team for years.
Yeah.
And sometimes even multiple times within the same year, and the cost of the speeds
is getting higher. Yeah, absolutely.
So I think one thing I would like to see get better, which has been improving slightly, is for example, if you are able to put in the work to make the national team, you should at least get your trips covered. So
actually, I agree with that. I have to agree with you on that.
And I feel like that also limits the quality of our national team, because if some people can't afford it, they won't be able to go. So we wouldn't necessarily have the best team out there.
Do you think that keeps away a lot of talent?
I think it does, because like I said, if somebody can't afford it, but they're the best in their weight class, they're not gonna be able to go to the meet.
That is true.
And so we wouldn't have the best representing us. So it's gonna be whoever can afford to go. So that's one thing, one of many, but that's the one big thing that kind of pertains to me, I guess.
All right, Charles, man, I really appreciate you stopping by.
Yeah, man.